Hello, I'm Skull Bogey here with Coty Milhausen ahead of his LFA fight against Isaiah Mato. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Just got done with work, picked the kids up from school, brought the oldest one to dance, and now we're home.
That sounds great. And how has the training camp been so far? I know we're around 3 weeks from the fight.
Um, it's been pretty good. We got a bunch of us in our fight squad here and at Start BJJ in St. Cloud that got fights coming up. We got Joey Hart, who's fighting on the Dana White Contender Series, September 17th. We had Derek Benoit, Jesse Midas, and Augustine Hahn just fight 2 weeks ago. And then we got four other guys fighting on the 28th. So there's a bunch of us in camp, uh, grinding it out. So yeah, it's been exciting. It's been
And,
going well. And, yeah.
and do you
So,
feel like it's always better when there are a few of you who have got fights coming up? Because it means you're all trying to get the best version of yourself.
right, right. Yeah, it's nice because everybody's going to be at the gym and everybody's grinding for the same reason. Sometimes I'm not saying people slough off or anything, but if you're not there and you don't have a fight coming up, you're maybe not as ambitious.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's nice to have people, especially like Joey Hart with the Dana White Contender Series fight the same week as Santos and I fight for LFA. It's he's got something big coming, and seeing how important it is to him and how hard he's pushing himself and how hard he's pushing everybody else he's training with, it just elevates the room.
exactly. And obviously, you are coming off of a first round defeat to Kelton. How how do you feel like the fight was going in the first round?
Um, to be honest, uh, so as since we came back from COVID and fighting, I hit the weights really hard and I got really big. Like I normally walk around about 195 and then I cut down to 155. So I am one of the bigger 55 pounders you'll see. The weight cut has been getting to me since I went professional. Um, and that one just really showed how I'm always in really good shape, and it's hard to explain. Like you walk out there and you feel like you're already dazed. You're not even there. You kind of I always say like La La Land. So this fight, we're going up a weight class, 165. Minnesota does recognize 165 as a weight class. The UFC doesn't. I'm hoping. I'm hoping going forward. I'm just really big at 55, but then I'm short at at 170. So I'm kind of a tweener. But it's nice to have someone meet me here at 165. Where I'm not killing myself to make weight. I think that was the biggest factor in the fight. I'm not taking nothing away from Kelton. I think he's very skilled and he's a talented fighter. But I think I'm talented also, and I don't get to showcase it just because I already feel like I'm on
Yeah,
a disadvantage just because of the weight cut, which is on me. I try to do everything right. Eating the right foods, cutting properly, and just with I think with age and just how big my body got, it was just tough. So this fight, I've taken a different approach where I'm not lifting as much. I used to lift 3 days a week. Now I'm down to 1 day a week and only for 45 minutes. And it's a lot of high repetition stuff and just let my body shrink up a little bit so the weight cut isn't so crazy. Um, I'm like right now I'm 10 over, which I'm never 10 over. So I think this weight cut should be nice. I'll be able to showcase off my skill, showcase my skills and yeah, not worry about the weight cut and worry about the fight more.
yeah, exactly. And that has been the question around the weight classes for a few years. whereas 155 and 170, there is no in between. Do you feel like there should be one in between those two weight classes?
Right. I know as far as our team, we got three of us that, you know, we're huge at 55. Well, there's four of us actually. We're huge at 155, and maybe, I mean, Joey Hart's fine at 70. He's a tall, skinny guy, but like Augustine Hahn, Bobby Lee, me, we're all shorter guys. We're 5'10", like 70-inch reach, if not less.
Yeah,
Um, and so 70, we're just kind of the shorter guys. Um, so yeah, I think there should be. I mean, 155 to 170 is such a huge gap, and you would think, most of the population in the U.S. for males, I mean, if they were to cut down to 3% body fat, they're probably going to land somewhere between 175 and 145. So I don't get why there's such a big gap there. Um, but I'm hoping I'm hoping it'll start taking charge before I get any older.
exactly. And how is your contract situation with LFA?
I'm not signed to like I just fight. I do one fight contracts with them. But it seems like lately all my fights are with them. I'm kind of an exciting fighter,
Yeah,
win or lose. They're always chaotic fights. They're always crazy. They're always high pace, and that's just kind of how I am. So they like to showcase that in Minnesota. I'm just one of the more exciting guys. Um, that I was that way through Amy. I just never been part of a boring fight. They've all been crazy.
yeah, exactly. And do you feel like LFA is the best promotion for you to try and show off your skills?
Yes. At this stage of my career, I'm 12 fights in and turning 32 this year. If I got that long-term goal of making the UFC, I think LFA is the promotion that will get me there. They're kind of the breeding ground for the UFC. You kind of see that, if you watch a feature fight and above in each card, you kind of expect those guys to be in the UFC
Yeah.
at any time. Um, so at this stage, I'm kind of holding myself to LFA unless someone wants to give me a shiny belt. Um, I am I'm pretty much just
Yeah.
reserving myself for the LFA promotion. It's such a great promotion. They're extremely professional. They always put on a good show here at Mystic Lake. I always have a huge crowd. Um, and just the way they showcase themselves and the professionalism of LFA, they all just do a great job. And I love everybody that's part of it. Everybody that's part of it is they're easy to get along with, easy to talk to. Um, Never had an issue, you know, uh, with these guys. So it's just, you get with some of these local promotions and you don't know what you're walking into sometimes. Sometimes you walk in and they got an opponent change for you. I've seen that as an AMI, showing
Yeah.
up and all of a sudden I'm fighting someone different as I show up. So LFA, in my, to me, I just feel like it's a very good promotion.
Exactly. And one of the benefits with being with LFA is the fact that they are on the UFC Fight Pass. So it just gives you that even more exposure.
Right, right. Yeah, and that's what I was kind of saying at this stage of my career. I'm not going to fight forever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of now or never. At this point, I'm kind of fighting with nothing to lose. Obviously, I want to be a UFC fighter, and this is the perfect promotion to showcase my skills, and I'm willing to leave it out there. And you can see that with all my fights. Whether I win or lose, I've had 9 wins and 3 losses. I'm always going to put it on the line, and I'm going to give it all I got, and I hope they like it, and I think you know, if it's going to go anywhere, it's going to go somewhere with this promotion.
Yeah, exactly. And before your last fight, you did have another two fights that were scheduled, but then later got cancelled. Was that getting you a bit annoyed that you weren't able, that was just keep on getting delayed?
Um, so I kind of learned my lesson. So I was supposed to fight, God, what's his name? Uh,
Dwayne
Dwayne the
Johnson?
Rock Johnson. He just got cut by Bellator, and I was actually going up a weight class to fight him. And so I was going to meet him at 170, and he came in and he was like 12 pounds over, 13 pounds over the day of weigh-ins, and it was in my hometown. For CFX, which is my coach's promotion, Brock Larson. Uh, I personally, I would take the fight, but at being, and I wonder if there was a little bit of gamesmanship there, knowing that I was the local fighter, that he's probably not going to turn down a fight in front of his home crowd, try to get any advantage as they can. I'm kind of that guy anytime, any place. I don't care. What weight class. I'll fight you at heavyweight. But being an older guy, you got to take smart fights, and I let my coach handle it. That's why I coach, or that's why I train with Brock Larson. He was in the UFC and won championship, and he fought Carlos Condit for a WEC title. He's been there, done that. He knows how to handle those situations, and I trust him. Whatever he said, if he would have told me to fight, I would have fought. He thought it was better that we just sit that one out and live to fight another day. And then with Christian Turner, actually, I hurt my neck really bad in sparring. Like I was getting Joey Hart ready for a fight, or we were both getting ready for a fight, and he was fighting a wrestler, so I was trying to wrestle him a lot, and I ran him to the wall, and I like speared the wall and like kinked my neck, and I couldn't turn my head. I tried to push through it, and it just wasn't working out. I know Christian Turner and I tried to line up fights. It's just dates weren't lining up and stuff. I kind of felt bad. I've never backed out before, but I fought with injuries. I've fought with hurt knees. I've fought multiple fights with broken hands. So I don't like to back out. I don't like to have excuses, but that seemed like a pretty serious one. So yeah, that one was on me. But yeah, it can be a frustrating because, like I said, COVID screwed you out of a few years,
Yeah.
and I already feel like I'm delayed, and I'm already kind of the older guy in the local scene now. So any fight you miss is, I feel like, just setting you back a little bit.
And like you were saying with the Dwayne fight, he did come in like 13 pounds heavier. Does that annoy you when they do? Because obviously you sign your fight contract for two things: one, to show up and fight; two, make the weight. So any party that gets annoyed that they haven't done one of the two things they said, yes, you do get that cheeky 20%, but he's not done one of the two things he did say he would do.
Right. Yeah, it's extremely frustrating. It was in my hometown. I'm one of the feature fights. I always do well with ticket sales, so I had a buttload of people come in to watch the fights. And then he misses weight. Yeah, it's frustrating. He was complaining about the facilities we had in Wilmer, that there wasn't a nice sauna, and it's like, well, we were all dealing with that.
Yeah.
Every fighter had to deal with that. Um, I'm cutting from 195 to 170. I still had to make the weight. I'm not sure what he walks around at. He seemed a little bit shorter than me, but he was maybe a little bit stockier. Um, but yeah, he fought at Bellator at 185, so I was kind of surprised he was going to fight me at 170. But again, he's the one. He reached out to us. He's the one that accepted the fight. We didn't reach out to him. So it was on him. Like I said, I think there was some gamesmanship there. He's a vet. He knows, hey, I'm going into a local guy's hometown. Probably going to accept this fight no matter what. Just trying to make it somewhat close. Give myself the best advantage I can. Um, Especially like my style. I'm such a like I'm a brawler. I'm just I wrestled in college. I got really good wrestling. I've submitted people. I got a lot of knockouts on my record, and I'm just kind of a brawler. I walk forward and I swing hard, and so it is kind of a scary matchup for whether you are a striker or a wrestler or a jits guy, it's I'm just kind of one of those dangerous guys that can the right opportunity or anything one punch. I'm one of those guys. I can knock you out one punch, and I've done it many fights where I just need my right hand to land, and if I put it square on your chin, you're gonna go night night. So it is a scary fight for most people, and so I'm sure he's looking for any advantages he can get.
Exactly. And throughout your amateur career, you were undefeated 6-0, and then you were moving to the professional scene. Now, did you feel like that was a reset of your career because you go from that 6-0 record back to 0-0? Or do you feel like your accomplishments as an amateur still come with you to your pro career?
Um, I definitely think you bring it to your pro career, but like I said, that gap,
Yeah.
um, that hurts. Like there's a little ring. I mean, yeah, you spar and we were training but to get in the ring and that distant management right off the bat and trying to find your range and it takes a little bit to get back. It doesn't just come naturally. You can spar as much as you want, but you usually seeing these sparring opponents quite a bit, so you kind of know what to expect. Where when you're fighting different people, you don't know what to expect, and there's always kind of a feel out period. And yeah, no, I feel like you carry it over, but I feel like my situation's well just a little bit different with that wide gap with
Yeah.
COVID, which everybody had to deal with who's been fighting the last 4 years, I guess.
And how did you get into the MMA scene? I know you're saying you started in your wrestling career, but how did you get into that as well, moving into the octagon?
So yeah, I started wrestling as a seventh grader. My mom's side were all pretty talented wrestlers. They tried to get me to wrestle for the longest time, and I just was scared. And finally, my seventh grade year, I signed up for football. The wrestling sign up sheet was right next to it. What the hell? Give it a try. Wrestled for 2 weeks. I was literally put on the varsity program. Um, did really well through my high school career. Then went and wrestled in college. Kind of had a rough freshman year. But then coming into my sophomore year, I got in a bad car accident. Where kind of knocked me out of college. I was in, I wasn't medically cleared. I was on bed rest for almost 4 years. Like I had some swelling in my brain, and so like I didn't get to finish out my college career, but I always wanted to fight. Like my dad used to buy it when it was on VCR. So we'd always watch it, watch UFC fights on VCR, and then I was a huge Chuck Liddell fan. Nelson the Ultimate Fighter came out, and it just really sparked my interest. So I always wanted to do it, but I always wanted to finish my wrestling career. Um, the day I got medically cleared, I called my dad up. I'm like, "Hey, I'm cleared. It's like I should fight. I've always wanted to do it. I'm old now, or kind of old for just starting. 'Cause I was 23, I think, and I turned 24 going into that last fight, I believe. I don't know, it was a long time ago. But I just I signed up for a fight literally that day. I wasn't even in a gym yet. I just my dad Googled promotion, Savage Entertainment, which isn't even a promotion anymore. Um, and then I found like a local gym, and there was a judo gym in Wilmer, which is where I'm originally from.
Yeah.
And Joey Hart, who was fighting for his Dana White contender on the Dana White contender series um, on September 17th, was training there. And he was still, I think, or he just graduated high school, I think, something like that. So he was pretty young. And pretty much it was just us two training each other. I had 1 month. end up fighting this one guy that was like a kickboxing champion for that promotion, and ended up getting a decision win. It was one of my two fights I went to decision, and I just fell in love with it, and yeah, it's all I ever wanted to do, and then for many years it was just Joey Hart and I training in Wilmer until one of my old classmates, Angel Pacheco, who's in the UFC now, reached out to me and said, "Hey, I train at a gym in St. Cloud, start BJJ, Brock Larson's coach." And then we got connected with them, and then we've been training with them since. And it's crazy how far that gym's came. When I got there, it was a lot of amateurs and a lot of white and blue belts. And to look now, we got so many, purple, brown, black belts. We got guys in the UFC. We had a heavyweight there, Maurice Green, um, who moved away and went to go train with John Jones. And I mean, it's just crazy how small the MMA world is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the backstory, I guess, a little bit. But
Oh, that sounds good. And do you feel like having, like you're saying, your mum's side of the family wasn't real wrestling heavy? Do you feel like having that in the family helps you get progress into that wrestling world?
yeah, I mean, I really didn't know how to wrestle, when I first joined wrestling. My mom was the youngest of 12, so all my uncles were pretty old by the time I got into it. But it just came so natural to me, and kind of like jujitsu, I feel like it ties together so
Yeah.
well. It just came so natural to me. Um, I grasp it really well, and I'm a quick learner. Like I'm kind of one of those guys. Show me once, and I can figure it out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely think that helped, but I didn't really know anything until I just naturally figured it out and was able to put it together myself, kind of, and kind of had good coaching and good teammates around me, and that helped me along the way.
And how do you balance that work and the train balance?
Well, it's changed over the years. I used to train every day because that's kind of what you did with wrestling,
Yeah.
and everything was as hard as you could, as long as you could do it. At, so I used to work every day full time, and then when I get done, I'd be at the gym 2, 3 hours every night. Whether I was in Wilmer at the judo gym or up in St. Cloud at Start BJJ. Uh, as I've got older, I take more rest days for my body to heal up. Um, I think those are really important because you beat yourself up so bad, and that's kind of how you get injured. And I definitely think you need rest days. So it's a tough balance because I'm divorced. I got 3 kids. I got a full time job. I coach wrestling. I run beanbag leagues. I bring my girls to rodeos. So I'm a very busy guy. I hunt. I fish. I'm a busy dude. So it is tough to find that balance, but I think I'm in the perfect system now where I'm taking rest days, uh, especially around sparring, because we do like small glove sparring on Sundays and then big glove sparring on Tuesdays. So I mean, it's really close. You only get a rest day, so Monday's always a rest day, and then depending on how my body feels, rolling on Wednesday. Otherwise, Wednesday's a rest day. Then going back in Thursday, making Thursday a roll day. Um, Fridays is usually a midday. Um, this Saturday we're cross training with McCoon's Martial Arts. We're like Steven Asplin trains. He's fighting on the card. Goozy Hines should be there. So there's guys. We do a lot of cross training. Um, but yeah, I think having the right balance, and everybody's different. Everybody, you know, Joey Hart, he's going every day. I think his only rest day is Monday. He's always doing something. I mean, I just saw a Snapchat right before we got on here that he was out running. Um, I used to be that way when I was a little younger. As I'm older, I feel like I just got to be smarter with my training, and definitely my best advice for anybody coming up is take advantage of your rest days.
Yeah, that's right. Great. And you are a three-time 155-pound Minnesota champion. How was that being able to become the champion and then become it three times?
Yeah, it's well, my first time I was begging for it. I was 3-0, and going into my fourth fight, I fought Clay Udley for LFA as an AMI, and it just never seemed like I could get these local promotions to like give me the title fight. Like I was knocking everybody out at that time. So the whole time I was talking shit. I was like, this is the real number one contender fight, and I
Yeah.
just I do talk a lot of shit. If you get to fight me, anybody that's fought me will tell you I'm talking the whole time. Um, and they had a number one contender fight, but someone got hurt or someone went professional. I don't remember. That was a long time ago. So I end up knocking Clay Udley out, and the whole time I was talking how that was the number one contender fight, and they gave it to me, and I was fighting Dustin Claperick down in his hometown in Austin, and I had a little extra motivation right before I walked out. One of my buddies, Damian Hill, came up and told me that his family was trying to fight my family out in the crowd, and we're in his hometown, so he's got 1,000 people coming to watch him, and I got 50. We're
Yeah.
5-6 hours away. That just pissed me off. So uh, the whole time, we had a game plan. I threw that game plan out the window. I just wanted to punish him. I made him go all 5 rounds. It's my only other fight that's went all the way. It seemed like every time I thought, the ref maybe would stop it, I'd let off, uh, just so I could beat him up some more because I was pretty that didn't sit real well with me. And then coming back for the CFX title, the first fight back in the Midwest, in my hometown, Wilmer. I sold 3,000 tickets that fight. Crazy. I mean, the place was packed, sold out. It was absolutely nuts. Because I wasn't sure if I was going to go professional right off the bat. I knew I'm older.
Yeah.
I got to. How much longer can you do it? I wanted to get into it, but after that long gaps, like maybe one more amateur fight isn't a bad idea. And they threw a title in there, so I'm like, oh, you convinced me. I like gold, so let's go for it. And yeah, so it's a good feeling, especially that one in front of my home crowd and how nuts that one was going. I couldn't even when they announced my name, I couldn't even hear my walkout song. They were cheering so loud, and I remember as we were facing off after they announced us and they're closing the cage up and they're chanting my name, and it was so loud that the cage was shaking. It was just it, it was a crazy feeling. That's something I'll never forget, and I don't think anybody that was there at the fight will forget. But yeah, definitely cool opportunity. Not everybody gets them. I mean, my teammate Joey Hart was a very talented welterweight, and he beat all the who's who's as an amateur and as a pro now, and he never got offered a title fight. So it's cool that they think I'm title worthy, and they want me to represent their promotion. Because not every talented fighter gets that opportunity. So yeah, very very cool. I something I'll never forget.
Exactly. Now, I know you're going to do great in your fight and you'll be able to showcase your abilities and get that victory. I'll let you have the final word. Anything else you're wanting to add? Anyone you're wanting to shout out?
Yeah, come check me out. I still got tickets for sale. I got all my suites are sold out, so I have no more suite tickets. I do have one more table ticket if someone wants to sit with my dad and my uncle. Um, Check me out, hit me up. I'd like to thank my sponsors, M&M's Construction, Pro Color Graphics, and Leroy's Collision Repair. I'd like to thank my gym, Start BJJ, and also Great Lakes Combatives for letting me come in and train with them here and there. All my teammates pushing me, Angel Pacheco and Joey Hart and Augustine Hahn, Derek Benoit, Denzel Moreau, Josh Holtz, Hunter. I'm so many guys. appreciate everybody in my corner. I mean, I wouldn't be here without those guys. My coach, Brock Larson, just an amazing coach. I mean, he's one of those coaches that you could be an 0-0 amateur fighting 13 hours away and he's going to drive there to corner you. And not to talk bad about any of these other local promotions that got big names. I won't even bring them up, but those same coaches that you see on the UFC coaching big names wouldn't make that drive. And he's got such a big heart. And I'm just glad that I found him and that team. It's changed my fight career. Um, like to thank my family, my girlfriend, my kids. I mean, it takes a lot of time out of the day. You know, I spend a lot of time at the gym, where we could maybe be doing something else. And, I hope my girlfriend understands and I hope my kids see how hard I work at this and how passionate I am about this. And I hope they find something that they're real passionate about and something they have a lot of drive for, and want to pursue it. I I grew up poor and I didn't have a lot of opportunities in life. I didn't have crazy toys and can go to crazy camps, and so there is a lot of extra drive behind the scenes for me. So I'm just hope my kids see that, and I hope it all pays off in the long run. I'm just a hungry fighter that I just want to be the best. I just want to be the best in the world, and I think I honestly, in my heart, think I can do it. I got the wrestling, I got the jits, I hit hard, I I I got that walk you down attitude. I'm bringing the fight to you. Um, so yeah, come check me out, LFA. I'm never in a boring fight. They're always crazy. They're all if you like Robbie Lawler, you like me. That's how I fight. So tune in and thank you everybody for the support.
No worries. I know you're going to smash it.